Hello, hello, hello. We should be live. I'm just going to check with our trusty helpers to let us know that they can see us. Bear with me 2 seconds. And then I will start to introduce our good friends that are on the call with us today. So just waiting for confirmation. Maybe you can tell us in the comments. Actually, why don't you drop us a note in the comments? Say yes, I can see you. Everything is beaming fine. I'm just looking for a thumbs up before we start leaping into the detail. Okay, I've got a looks like it, so that's good enough for me. So I'll kick off with a brief introduction. We've got some amazing guests on the stream today. Very intelligent guests, much smarter than I, because none of them have doxed. So they're much cleverer than I am. So first kick off. So I'm Danny. So if this is being beamed across various channels on Twitter at the moment. So if you don't know who I am, I'm the founder of Foxify.trade. Foxify.trade developed the funded application, which is an on-chain prop trading application which integrates with leading decentralized trading platforms. The reason we're here today is because we recently launched on top of Kodiak perps, a hugely successful perpetuals platform on Berachain, the leading, the absolute TVL master on Berachain, and you can go and use our application on top of their perps, and you get real funding. There's a chap in the last week who's cashed out $5,000. Actually, went from a $500 deposit up to $10,000. Made a ton of money, but basically our app gives you access to additional capital, and then the amount of capital you have, and then the risk that we'll take on you, because we do take liquidity risk on traders, increases as you prove your skill, or it decreases. You lose your account if it doesn't. So that's us in a nutshell. You can find us at Foxify.trade. You can find the Kodiak app there, where you can actually get double cash outs at the moment, and that's absolutely flying out. We've got massive traction right now, so super exciting. So enough about us, and I'm gonna sort of hit the room and let the guys give an introduction. Carly, could you kick off?
Yeah, hi everyone. This is Carney from Berachain. I work on DeFi things, so anything ranging from tokenomics, financial engineering products, and as well just giving advice to teams on how they can plug into Berachain's proof of liquidity or come up with other interesting mechanisms to incentivize users. So a broad range of topics, but that's what I'm here for.
Amazing. Jintao, did you want to go next?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm Jintao. Not very well known on Twitter. Haha. I do developer relations at Berachain, and so what that entails is kind of helping teams onboard, get set up with proof of liquidity, potentially help them with some design decisions, or just kind of any kind of implementation questions they might have. And then, as a side gig, I really try to get the team onboarded onto Rivian. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. And one more, right?
I think that's the foundation account to help them.
Okay, right, fantastic. Okay, now I understand. Right, brilliant. Okay, well, we can probably remove that. Sorry, let's remove from the stage. It will still be streaming, or maybe let's just leave it there. Let's not mess with anything, and then the tech goes down. So what I'm going to do today is do a little bit of a live stream and kind of show people what we're talking about. But before we sort of jump into the application, you'll be able to see actually in the background. I'm hoping everybody can see the Kodiak Perpetuals app in the background. You can also see my recent trade history actually there. So I've left that on, and luckily it's been a good couple of days. Otherwise that would be embarrassing. We get a BTC loss there, but the truth is actually that was because of my account auto close, because we have an auto close feature on the system, so where you can set your account to close all open positions automatically if you reach the level that's required to get promoted. So I can explain that in a second. So yeah, you can see the UI there. The screen's looking a bit blue to me. Can everybody else see the UI at the moment?
It was showing a second ago. Now it's blue, yeah. At least for me.
Always worrying. Let's have a look.
Yeah, It's looking good now.
Yeah, looking good now. Okay, all right, great stuff. Well, I'll leave it up on my screen. So look, I'll kick off first of all because I'm always curious, like to set the scene. So you two guys, have you heard? Like everybody's heard of perpetuals trading. Have you two guys heard of prop trading?
I've heard of the word prop trading. I've definitely heard of perpetual.
Yeah, fantastic. And okay, well, let me kind of explain what prop trading is, right? As a proposition, excuse the pun, what prop trading is it's effectively me saying that I will fund you as a trader, yeah, and you come and trade for us. And if anyone's seen the program Billions, right? They're prop traders. They're sort of hedge fund prop traders. And it's you have like institutional prop traders as well. And basically, the way their arrangement will typically work with their employers is that they get a prop desk, as it's called. They trade. They only get that desk if they can demonstrate that they're skillful and they deliver performance. And then that fund will give them money, right? And they trade that money. And then typically what will happen is that they get a profit share of those funds, right? So most people don't have access to billions of dollars, but a big fund will give you billions of dollars. You trade for them, you make them lots of money, and you get to keep a profit share. And that's prop trading. Now, retail prop trading really took off in the sort of last 5-6 years. And retail prop trading is, before we've come along, is 100% Web 2 industry. And ultimately what retail prop trading is an app that says, I'll give you $100,000, give me $500 and I'll let you trade $100,000 with our money. And then, you know what, we'll let you keep 80% of the profits that you generate with the $100,000 that we give you. That sounds like an amazing proposition, doesn't it, guys?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds pretty good as long as you're making money.
Well, and that's the operative word, right? So how do these platforms really work? Most of them, nearly all of them actually, I'm trying to be kind so I'm not libelous. What they're really doing is they're giving you a fake paper trading account. They're betting on, at the minimum, that you'll be a terrible trader, because who would give a stranger off the street $100,000, right? Right out of the gate. Only an absolute lunatic will do that. But that's the proposition they offer you. They take your deposit, and their business model is either betting that you'll just be terrible and you'll blow up, or if there's a chance that you're any good, what they do is they make the system extremely difficult to be profitable. So whilst you're sucked in by the promise of $100,000 and getting to keep 80% of the profits, and you're dreaming of punching your boss in the face and sailing off into the sunset as a millionaire trader, the reality is they introduce all sorts of weird and wonderful rules or trading restrictions that put you in a position where it's very, very, very difficult for you to succeed. And what they're betting on is that they'll get more $500 from suckers that think, wow, $100,000 is great, than they will have to pay out. So they're effectively like casinos, because really, when you succeed, they're not placing any real trades on the market. What you're doing is you're taking money back out of their pocket. And when you fail, you're putting money in their pocket. So whilst they sell you this story that they want to make you a successful trader, educate you and so on, in truth, their whole business model survives, let alone thrives, off the back of you having terrible performance. And actually, we have prop traders that work with us who just get outright banned. Actually, they're just winning too much. So therefore the cash outs are too high. The business isn't happy about it. So what they do is they just ban the good traders, and then they just make sure they keep going out and finding, average to terrible traders. And that's their business model. Now, this is possible because of Web 2, because nobody really knows what's going on behind the screen. So whilst you think you're trading $100,000, you're actually not. You're just clicking buttons and there's no real trades going on the market. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and that's fundamentally the industry. And I'm not talking about something that's niche, by the way. This is, when I started this journey with Funded, with Foxify, it was a $6 billion a year industry. It's now a $20 billion a year industry. So since the end of 2023, it's already more than 3x. It's absolutely huge industry, and it's extractive to users. And interestingly, it's also extractive to the market, because that means that every person that goes and uses one of these applications isn't really trading on the open market. Right. So therefore, the really valuable flow, which is retail flow, isn't hitting the market. So it hurts the industry, it hurts users, And the only people that win out of it is the prop trading firms that are selling you this story, but in truth they don't really have the money. And if they have to pay out too much, sometimes even prop trading firms just go bust, right? They don't have the liquidity to pay you out. And so you do really, really well, and they go, these guys are a bit too good for us. Let's just close down, and we'll open up under a new brand name next week down the road. And that's fundamentally the problem with the industry, and that's what the funded app solves. Any questions, guys, on that?
Yeah, so they can't pay the people out because they're not actually trading. So the profit that they're supposedly realizing is just not there. Is that?
Yeah, it's a great point. And actually, many prop, and even because I'm in the industry, right? So I will often get ads in my feed trying to sell me stuff around prop trading. One of the common ads that I see is set up your prop trading firm in a day, no money required. So there's many of these apps don't have any money, and it's only possible because the first thing they need to do is go out and find 100 people to give them $500. And then say, okay, well, the challenge needs to be 2 weeks, and then you need to do another 4 weeks. And if I can get 100 people a day for 6 weeks before any payouts have to start paying, it's just a game of trying to take as much money off the market, and then we'll worry about it later. Some of them are very good at it, and they are going concerns. Others, they realize that the payout pot's getting a bit big, so they'll say your KYC is now denied, even though you've been trading for 4 weeks, and they'll come up with all sorts of weird and wonderful ways. And then the worst case scenario, which does happen, is that they just say, do you know what, we've just taken $200,000 worth of deposits in the first few weeks, and now some guy wants a $20,000 payout. Well, let's just say that we've run out of money and we shut down. So yeah, really rough. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Sorry, real quick. I think Bear Rodman is trying to get on the stage. If you're able to add him up there. Yeah, I think he's trying to come in.
Bear with me. So I should just be sharing this window. So let's have a look. Let's get him up. Yeah, here we go. Right, Mr. Rodman.
There we go. How we doing?
Good. Just getting on my soapbox about prop trading.
Yeah, a great summary. I think you nailed it. Yeah, very excited to be here. I think like Kodiak and Foxify is very exciting, especially for us. It's one of the like most fun things that we've done on top of Kodiak Perps. And I'm really excited to just keep growing it and keep trying to scale it with you guys. So.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, likewise. And by the way, just to give you guys a massive shout out, we work with multiple platforms across the industry, and like in terms of, I always say this to people actually in DeFi, because you've always got like a public view of a team, and then you've got what really goes on in the background. And yeah, you guys are sharp. You guys are like on it. Like if you're involved in the Kodiak ecosystem as a liquidity provider, a token holder, and you're thinking like, what's really going on with these guys? These guys graft, like, and you can see it like in the background, like absolute savages. So credit to you guys. It's great working with you.
Yeah, appreciate the kind words.
Cool. Yeah. So was there any on my sort of soapbox rant about prop trading and the state of the industry? Any more questions on that, guys, and sort of how the mechanics of the industry work?
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, I think maybe it might be worth touching on how Foxify differs a bit and some of the things that are like pretty unique to Foxify, because I don't think in comparison to like a lot of these other like even crypto prop trading firms, they really compare to Foxify.
Yeah, and it's probably is a good example actually. So look, I think if somebody says they give you $200,000, like $200,000 doesn't go into many order books in crypto with leverage. Yeah, it would be absolutely messy. So the second somebody starts offering you or promising you unrealistic numbers, you know instantly what the game is, right? Because you can't take 200K 40 exit on Solana and then whack it into the average order book, right? Across the industry. But where we're different, I suppose, is that, so in a nutshell, so you understand sort of our model, is that we build our system on top. So you can see here, so this is, for all intents and purposes, this is the Kodiak system. You can see it's kodiak.foxify.trade. And then our funded system is built on top. Okay, so we have like a back end, and then we also have the liquidity vault, which is where funds are coming from. So a user will, and maybe if I just click on here, let me know you can see this okay. And let's have a look at challenge funding. So if we look at a pro challenge, which our friend went wild on this week on Kodiak, actually, they cashed out, they got to platinum this week. That user deposited $500, and their $500, they have 20% drawdown, but they now have 2.5K to trade. Now, you don't have to be a mathematician to work out, well, 20% is the $500 that they put in, right? So isn't that just leverage? Well, the answer is no. For a start, even at that first level, we do have operational and liquidity risk, right? If something happened like on the 10th of the 10th, we still have $2,000 in your trading account on Kodiak with your $500 that you deposited. So buyers putting real funds into an account is legitimate risk. It's not just like paper risk, because that's really what leverage is. Actually, leverage is paper risk. This is real funds in the account. If, God forbid, something happened on a trading platform that we were integrated with, and that was an issue for the accounts, our liquidity is absolutely at risk. So whilst it looks like there's zero risk for us at the first level, there is operational and liquidity risk there. We've also got slippage risk of trades closing. And because it's completely anon, you don't need KYC. KYC is a really tricky subject in prop trading, because it's often used as a tool to get out of cashing out, because that's, their business model is trying to avoid cash outs. In our world, we don't know who anyone is, right? It's completely anon. So you just have to prove yourself at that first level, grow your account 15 points, show that it's not a fluke. So you get points by being active. So what it proves is you didn't just get lucky. So if you get to the profit target in one trade, now that's fantastic and we're really happy for you, but that doesn't tell us that you're ready for us to put liquidity risk. Now, if you succeed across multiple trades, then that shows us that it's more likely to be skill than luck. It's very difficult to be lucky many times over. So you just have to be active, hit the profit target, and then you cash out 80% of that. You get that doubled at the moment with the double cash out bonus on Kodiak, and then we instantly double your capital. So you'll notice now that you have $750 drawdown. So you've now got $5,000 in your account. Okay, so it jumps up really fast. You've cashed out already. You moved up to the next level. You now got $5,000. Most average people don't have $5,000, $10,000 to throw around on a trading app. So by you demonstrating your skill, you just quickly you've got 10 times the capital that you started with. Does that make sense, guys? Any questions on that?
No, it's also like a really good amount of starting capital, especially if you're a new trader and a new trader like touching leverage for the first time. I think, like if for a lot of the traders that are going to be successful, especially with prop trading accounts, you typically probably want to start with something like $5,000 to $10,000 and not much more, right? So it kind of hits that sweet spot.
Yeah, it's a really good shout. And I think, why do they offer people $200,000? It's because it's a marketing tactic, right? They don't really give you $200,000. You're absolutely right. The guy who I just stopped sharing my screen for a second because I wanted to just refresh. The chap that I mentioned, we put out a tweet who started with $500, I think, on Saturday, maybe 4 or 5 days ago. So that individual has actually, he got up to $10,000, but he made $5,000 throughout the week. Yeah, so he made like a really huge amount of money. Now he's going pretty aggressive to move through the levels that quickly. Then you are taking a lot of risk, but with $10,000, back to your point, you can make decent money with $10,000. You don't need hundreds of thousands of dollars, and with sensible risk management, it's not boom or bust. You can definitely move the needle financially.
Yeah, absolutely. I think most great traders, for one, limit their drawdown from the start when they start trading, and I think also with a lot of great traders, they just don't get liquidated in general, right? And so I think that amount of capital, it really is like a great starting point.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. So bear with me a second. I'll just share my screen. Did you have any more questions in terms of how the scaling works and how people earn on the platform?
Yeah. I do have some questions. So like, when someone's new to this, like sometimes they come online, search for prop trading, and like you said in the beginning, like there are lots of rules, and sometimes like they're placed in a very tricky way to try to trap you inside. So for someone coming to Foxify, right, like when we say you have to stay active, like around how active is that, right? Like is there a certain like time limit or amount of volume you need to be doing relative to your account size in order to be considered active?
Yeah, it's a brilliant question. And so time is quite a contentious issue with prop trading apps as well. So they'll, for instance, say that you have to trade a minimum number of days. And that structure can be both like a blessing and a curse. So they'll say minimum number of days, you have to wait a certain amount of time. Someone passes their challenge, but then they have to wait a week before they can cash out. It's all just very slow and cumbersome, right? And it's all designed really because, you know, that if your business is taking deposits and avoiding paying out, the more ways that you can long out paying people, the better your cash flow looks, right? Whereas in our system, we didn't want that. We if we have a fixed time period, then people might be waiting around. So what we did is we built like a timer into the system. So when you start a challenge, you start with 7 days on the timer, which means that then you can manage your own time rather than us saying, oh, you have to be active a certain amount of days. Actually, if you can do it all in 1 day, that's up to you. And you instantly get promoted. Actually, you know, true story, my challenge that I was just showing you, I got promoted from entry in my sleep last night because there's also a function where you can set it to auto promote if you've hit your target. Now you can turn that off. So maybe actually if I'd left it off, I would have woken up with a lot more money, but I'd left that on. So it auto promoted me, closes all my positions and it moves me up. And so the 7-day timer starts, the 7-day timer is always ticking down, but every time you use the platform, then it earns you more time. So basically, if you're inactive, obviously we've got real capital in your account. It can't be out there, you know, it can't be out there indefinitely, right? So the timer allows us to manage that capital. So if you don't use it, you know, and actually if you trade fairly frequently, your timer will quickly go up to weeks. And then if you want to go on holiday for a week, that's fine. It's completely up to you. And your challenge will be there waiting for you when you get back. But also, if you go missing, which sometimes people do, we've got one chap on our leaderboard who's $583 up and at 100 points. I think it was back in October, and they've never cashed out. I don't know what's happened to them. But they've never cashed out. Their $583 is sat waiting for them. So people do just disappear. And obviously that would be a big risk for us if we had you know liquidity out there sat in people's accounts and then they're not going to use it anymore. Does that answer your question in terms of how that works?
Yeah. So I guess like for a trader who's ready or thinking about taking the challenge, like they should plan ahead that they're probably going to be active for let's say at least a week, right? Or if not, then maybe they should wait before starting a challenge.
Yeah, well, you can also, it's a good point, actually. Like, you know, some people say, oh, well, what if I start a challenge? And actually, people, the probability of somebody opening a trade immediately after starting a challenge is extremely high, right? People don't really start challenges and then go on holiday for a week. You typically start when you're ready to start trading. However, in between each level, you go into what's called on-deck mode, and you can stay in on-deck mode indefinitely, actually. So this morning when I woke up, actually, my platform said you're in on-deck mode. You now have, I deposited $100, I cashed out $60, and I now have $1,250 to trade with. But when I woke up this morning, I could have looked at that and said, not today, and just left it for a week if I wanted, or indefinitely. So it's not, once the timer starts, it's only for that level. And once you reach the end of the level, actually, you can, you know, it's up to you. If you want to wait a month, you can wait a month. That's no issue. It also removes any sort of minimum time. So many people do get promoted. Sometimes my personal record was getting promoted in 0.4 days. Now, if you're going to get promoted that quickly, you are taking more risk. You're taking bigger size. So we recommend people like apply risk management and learn and progress slowly. But if you're of the view that, you know, you really have a strong conviction where the market's going today and you want to get promoted in a day, then the system won't hold you back from that.
Got it. Very useful.
Cool. Was there any other questions in terms of how? So I should probably explain sort of maybe how the cash outs work as well, right? So you get 80% of any profits that you generate. Now the funds come from an on-chain vault that are deposited into your account, and you can actually see it in your trading account. But the back end then restricts you withdrawing unless certain conditions are met, right? Otherwise, somebody would just take the money and run. Now, once the conditions have been met, i.e. you've hit the profit target and you've got enough points, then you go into on deck mode and you click withdraw, and you're actually calling 80% of your money back to you. So there's no, even there was one that was shown to me earlier by a partner, which is another sort of prop trading app, but it's like 200K. So, they're not the same as us. But even they said 48 hours to pay you out. In our system, because the funds have already been won from the market maker, they're sat there. They sat there as USDC in your account, and when you reach on deck mode, it goes back to the vault. You click withdraw, and it instantly pays you out. So there's no human review or anything like that. So there is zero method of us intervening in that process. If you make profit, you cash out. There's no question about that.
I mean, that sounds like pretty good compared to like a $48 payout. I mean, that's kind of why we're all in crypto, right? Like you're able to kind of verify these things and have access to things instantly and not wait for your bank or your wire transfer or whatever it is to take days and maybe never come. So that's nice to hear.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's sorry, go on.
No, I was going to just say, I think that's like one of the coolest things about Foxify is that it's completely permissionless and on chain, right? So, regardless of our opinions, if we wanted to try to do anything more predatory, or if that was our intention in any way, we couldn't, right? Everything is on chain. It's all verifiable, and you can simply interact with the system, and it will work with the presented rules. So.
Yeah, exactly. And we always, I think there's also like another really important message, because so for us, there's traders, trading is hard, right? Let's not get away from that. So that's why we say apply risk management, follow certain strategies, don't get emotional. And we say that with sincerity, because a trader that comes and goes very quickly, we've got all of the cost of finding a user and helping you understand our platform and onboarding you, and then you run out of money and you disappear. Now, prop firms are very happy with this, right? Because that's their mission is to extract your capital from you as quickly as possible. Whereas the way we make money as a business, for full disclosure, is we make money from a fee share and we make money from the profit share. And traders that run out of money don't continue trading, right? Whereas traders that are successful do continue trading. So our I suppose our outcomes are completely aligned with you as a user. We want you to win. We do better if you win, because you trade for longer. We share in the profits that go back to our vault, and that's proven by us always developing and finding ways. So at the moment, a couple of interesting things we're working on is full automation. So one of the things that we recognize that some people either don't have the skill, and many more people just don't have the time to sit there looking at charts all day, right? Trading is actually very time intensive. So what we're doing is enabling the ability for users to select an automated bot that will then run your funded challenge for you. So you deposit, the bot will run it. Everything in trading can lose. Anyone who tells you different, run away from them. But we know that this bot far outperforms humans, has a much better chance of success than even good traders, let alone average traders. And that will run autonomously for you. And all you have to do, end of the day, I wonder how much challenge is getting on. You can go into the app and you'll be able to see what trades are open, what trades have closed, what your current position is. And then eventually, if it reaches profit, then you'll be able to cash out and then start the next level. But again, the bot takes over and it does that for you. A prop firm will never do that, because that would be like them them giving you Rain Man at the door of a casino. Yeah. Because they're not going to give you tools that help you win. Another thing we've developed is copy trading. So we're working with a few master traders at the moment, and we'll be expanding that in a couple of months. And then we'll offer you the ability to look at a leaderboard of funded traders and then choose to copy them. And again, a prop firm won't do that. They don't want a high concentration of high performance. They want to see everybody lose, whereas we do. So we, you know, over the next couple of months, you'll see all of these things start coming live and being made available to users, which is ways in which we want to help you to succeed. Sure. But there's some big things happening on Kodiak at the moment, Bear Rodman. We've got $69,000 competition that's coming to a close in 9 days, right?
Yeah, it comes to a so we just surpassed 50 million in total volume. I think just under half of that actually is done by by funded account traders so far. And so yeah, it's primarily rewarding all of our top volume traders throughout the month of January. That will come to a conclusion at the end of the month. And then in addition to this, we have the FoxFi double cash out bonus. And I think this is actually like a very slept on promotion. And basically what you see with like a lot of perp dexes right now is you're farming and you're trading on these different venues with the expectation that the points or the tokens that you'll get airdropped either, you know, act as like a nice cushion to whatever existing P&L you have. You hope that they cover your fees that you've spent on the platform, which are typically pretty expensive. And then if you've taken any losses, you kind of hope or expect that to cover some of your losses. Well, with the FoxFi double cash out bonus that we've been running for the last, I think, just over a month, if you are a profitable trader and you actually progress through the FoxFi challenges, you're actually eligible for almost, or in some cases, double the profits that you would have made. And I don't really see like any promotions or any sort of campaigns that are going on that are really as interesting as this. I mean, if you're a profitable trader, you literally double your profit, and I think that's pretty cool. So
yeah, it's a huge edge, isn't it? And you again, like the drawdown at level 1 is 20% and the profit target's 15, and you get double cash out at the moment with that promotion. So if you're a trader and you fancy yourself, the edge versus is the most efficient way to trade is Kodiak perps on double cash outs on funded. I will say this proudly, is definitely the most efficient way for traders to trade across the whole of DeFi at the moment. It would smash any, in terms of skill, it would smash any points farming or airdrop system that's running at the moment.
yeah, so pretty excited to see what type of competition and what type of cash outs we see, and you know, not so much of it has been utilized so far. So yeah, expect some more in the coming weeks. So
amazing. I should also, so I've asked question coming in a bit. Okay, well, kind of questions now, guys, because we are going to start wrapping up in a second. So if anyone's got any questions that they want to ask, now is the time. I do want to also little shout out to the people that don't trade, because lots of people in this industry don't trade, but they are interested in how can they get involved. So we're also taking part in the Kodiak ecosystem by bringing the Fox token to Berachain. So it was recently paired with USDC on the Kodiak app, so you can provide liquidity for the token, and you're earning great rewards on the Kodiak app at the moment. Plus, also 30% of all trading fees are used to then buy back the token. So the token has natural sort of ecosystem buy pressure. We've been hitting sort of daily volume sort of record actually. So as a business, we're scaling very, very quickly. The fee takes scaling, and a big chunk of that value then drives back into the token. So if you're not a trader, you can get involved with the token, become a liquidity provider, and then rewards going back to the token from trading fees. And then we'll be looking to set up automation as well, which will allow people to get involved that maybe don't want to trade themselves, but they're happy to have some risk exposure and get involved passively. Is there anything else you want to cover, Bear Rodman, in terms of what's going on with Kodiak before we close up?
No, I think that covers it for the most part. Yeah, I mean, I think you know, like we have some great competitions going on. Really excited to keep seeing new traders coming and using Foxify. And I think over the last couple of weeks, we've had a ton of them. And so we'll continue to push that. We have some integrations that are coming out that have been previously announced. And that will also just make, well, or give traders like additional tools on top of Kodiak and enable a more like pro trading environment. And so really excited about that stuff. And yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, absolutely. And I think both Kodiak and also Foxify community is super active on Discord. So if you want to come and get involved in the communities, you know, like our posts, follow our accounts. But if you want to come and, you know, our community's been around for years, super genuine, well-set community, always welcoming to new people as well. So come and get involved. We do have a question to finish off, which is great. So how far can skilled traders scale unfunded on Kodiak? So a skilled trader can get up to a $10,000 account. You can run multiple accounts from the same wallet, though. We have no issue with that. There's no restrictions in you using certain trading strategies, hedging, bots. Do whatever you like. If you've got an edge and you've got a way to win, then you can just completely ramp up as many accounts as you like off of your wallet. Cool. Brilliant. So Berachain, Jintao, also Carney, thank you very much. Before we close off, is there any final words or comments that you want to make?
No,
anything massive that's happening on Berachain that you guys want to push?
Well, you can long Bera on Kodiak perps via your funded account. You get paid, I think, about 700% right now in funding.
Wow. True story, and you can proof this by going to the Kitsune page at foxify.trade, because that's our automated trading bot that copies signals. We longed Bera yesterday and made Kitsune made about $170 longing Bera yesterday. So there was a nice pump during all the dump and it picked it up. So yeah, GG.
pretty good.
Nice. Good stuff. All right, cheers guys. Thank you everybody. Take care.
All right, thanks for having us. Bye.
Cheers.